this means that we have not been successful. So these are issues that we have to think about them very seriously. And unless we achieve, we should not be satisfied. Yes. So,
another question regarding, you mentioned two more important traits, and one of them is rationality. So through our lessons, could you please elaborate on this point of rationality and how actually through lessons, Akhlaq lessons, we can deliver this concept?
in some lectures I have talked about this rationality, but briefly, rationality in different ages requires different things. I don't encourage to put doubts in the mind of people because you want to make them rational, because you think rationality means to be critical. Yes, rationality can involve being critical, but at a certain age, not too early. Rationality is to be driven by reason and not by emotions or fashions or celebrities or what is seen on TV. None of this is rationality. Rationality is to be driven by reason, and reason can function with knowledge. So reason cannot, function with just pressure of people or pressure coming from society. Reason only accepts knowledge, facts. So, if you want to have rational people, we need to encourage them to be people of understanding, studying, discussing, thinking. All of them are important. For example, discussing. A rational person would be always happy for discussion. People who are emotional or are close-minded, or they have been just following ideas which are dictated to them, they are not ready for discussion. If you tell them, please, let us discuss this, it would make them feel bad. Because they know there is nothing to discuss. There is darkness behind this. A rational person is always ready for discussion. Because first of all, he has been through a process and he is able to share that process with you. And secondly, he knows that he cannot claim to know everything. A rational person is always ready to be corrected, to be helped. So discussion is something that you can make it part of your training. But not discussion, I repeat again, not discussion, for example, say, let us discuss whether God exists or not. This is not good for early age. Let us discuss Islam is a true religion or not. If this is done too early, then they can be suffering from doubt for their entire life. So in early stages, instead of focusing too much on basic issues of aqaid, you can divert this to akhlaq, to issues about life, about history, about these subjects. Or discussion for understanding better. For example, you want to understand Imam better. We want to understand Imam Mahdi better. But not, we want to discuss why there must be Imam for the early stages. Gradually, no problem. Before they reach, the age of hearing these questions from other people, we should prepare them. But we should not rush. We have to be very careful. So, for rationality, I think, I repeat again, one is thirst for knowledge. If we can make our students thirsty for knowledge, this is very important. They should have the habit of reading, especially now. people tend to read less and less. Everything is just a tweet or a post on Facebook. We have to train them to be reading tens of pages every week. I have been telling many people, alhamdulillah, now there are some initiatives, but we need to have more. We need to have reading societies, reading clubs, whatever you call it, so that people have a reading list, read books, discuss with themselves. Otherwise, with the situation which is we see in the world, no one would be by himself or herself developing the habit of reading, because everything is now very short, very instant, very shallow. If someone wants to do, for example, researches, I have looked at Wikipedia. It's the maximum research that they do. But this is not good. We need to develop this habit of reading. Discussing is very important. Taking notes. Gradually develop the habit of writing your ideas. Because when you write your ideas, you better understand your ideas and you better understand the flaws which are in your ideas. So, there are different aspects of rationality. Maybe, inshallah, another time we can talk about rationality more.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think there are few issues I think everyone on all of us are facing when it comes to teaching Akhlaq. I think first is our lacking of ourselves with Akhlaq. We need to maintain ourselves, the value of teach ourselves, equip ourselves with that. I think the second is the society we live in and our atmosphere at home of the teachers learning from the parents, and second is society outside. There is no values in this society. So when they come to madrasa, teachers struggle. The first problem is themselves, they're not equipped how to transmit this idea or Akhlaq to them. The second is their approach, when they try to teach, because of all the background they were living in, children, school, and no value. So I think it's very difficult to motivate them to work with Akhlaq, and I think this is where we're struggling. Is there anything to put some light on this, how we can overcome this issue, which is general?
Thank you. The good point is that, alhamdulillah, everyone in his or her God-given nature, in his fitrah or her fitrah, loves akhlaq. So we are not introducing a subject which is totally, strange or unknown to them, unfamiliar to them. We are talking about a subject which is dear to every human being, especially children, because they are closer to the fitrah than elders, unless elders have worked hard to preserve their fitrah. Most of us, by passage of time, our fitrah is affected. But children, alhamdulillah, they have pure heart, and the subject is dear to every human being, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that أَلْحَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْحَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. So they have this understanding, what is good, what is bad. And also, they have tendency towards good. حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانِ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ وَكَرَّهَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكُفْرَ وَالْفُسُوقَ وَالْعِصْيَانَ. So, they understand, they have tendency towards good. Our role is just to make sure that this is grown and not affected by poisonous messages coming from outside. So you are like a gardener that should look after these young, flowers, so that inshallah they grow and become strong. What is very important is, first of all, we bring true message of Islam to the classroom. And also they see in us good akhlaq. You don't need to do mu'jiza, but just try to be a good person. Just try to be honest and educate yourself about the subject. If at home and in the madrasa they get the same message, inshallah we will be successful. But if they don't get good message in the school or madrasa or at home, or there's conflict, or father says something, mother says something else, teacher says something else, they will be confused. And then there is a great chance that they just choose whatever suits them more. So, I know the task is difficult, but on the other hand, I'm saying the task is, alhamdulillah, somehow natural. You are not working against the nature. You are not working against the laws of the creation. You are just acting as part of the whole creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything is with you. Because this world is based on haqq. This world is based on truth. You know, sometimes we think about problems in the world and it's possible to get, hopeless and despaired. But I think a mu'min should not forget that no matter how many problems are there in the world, this world belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, if you have a system which is designed and directed by the wisest person, you would not have worry. You say, if anything goes wrong, he knows how to sort it out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this world with His full wisdom, and the world is at the service of truth. And this is why Quran says, جاء الحق وزهق الباطل, but not as an exception, not as something rare. إن الباطل كان زهوقا. This is the nature of falsehood. This world cannot accept and tolerate falsehood for a long time. Like for example, if you force a smoking to yourself, your liver would react, cannot accept. But if you keep forcing, maybe as a human being your nature would change. But can someone change the nature of this world? Even shaitan cannot change the nature of this world. So those who are at the service of truth, at the service of haqq and virtues, they should be sure that they have support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have support of the angels. They have the support of Imam Zaman. So you are not alone. This is very important. كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَأَغْلِبَنَّ أَنَا وَرُسُلِي. Allah has made this very firm decision that He and His messengers are going to be overcoming all difficulties and enemies and threats. Just we have to make sure that we are with them.
Any other question?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi
Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah Shaykh Hassan. I will agree to what you just said. I've experienced this myself. Students with the bad ethics, I've seen them changing within 2 years. And this is more to do with our own self. If we change our environment, then we can change it. My question related to this is about the idea of student with the bad akhlaq, with the bad ethics. Sometimes we have in the class a few of the students, they are naughty and they are not to that level of akhlaq, and they sometimes tries to destroy the whole environment of the class. So how we should deal with them? Shall we take them out of class? Some of the, in our meetings, some of the teachers suggest that we should throw them out of the school and we should deal with them. Personally, I don't agree. I want your opinion, how we should deal with them.
Yes, this is a very sensitive issue. On the one hand, we want to help everyone. and those who are with these difficulties, they need more help. But on the other hand, we don't have right to let other people being affected. So, if by having these people in your class, still you are in control, you can make sure that other students' progress is not affected, but you have to do extra work, that's fine. But if you think that things are going out of your control, and other students are affected, or at least they are not, making any progress, you have just to fix the problems that he's creating, I think you should have a separate program for him or her, not let him, spoil everything. This is not here a matter of just having pity. You have to be wise. So have something special for them, another class, another program, outside madrasa maybe. You have to be in control. Like a driver. A driver can take different passengers, but you have to be in control. If they are taking the steer away from you, or they're opening the door, or burning the car, you cannot drive. Yes.
I have a question.
Please.
You have mentioned in your lecture that we should have an interaction continuously with the parents of the children especially. So sometimes the parents can take good care of what the teachers are telling them about their children, but sometimes the teachers can observe that complete lacking from the parent side, and sometimes they don't, maybe they are sometimes fail to take care of those things, sometimes they're not interested to do so. And they actually start saying to the teachers that we are sending our children to the madrasa, so it's your responsibility to look about their akhlaq and everything. So how frequently and in which way we should have a good interaction with the parents, and how often we can do that? Like in schools, children and teachers and parents have a meeting, so I just want to know about the interaction with the parents basically. Exactly.
Awesome. The parents who bring their children to the madrasa, this shows that they are good people, because there is no force, yeah? So at least they appreciate their children should learn and become better practicing Muslims. Otherwise, they don't bring their children to madrasa. So this is good, that they do it out of their will. But the problem is that they may not have themselves qualification or time or interest in helping you. Some of them may just think that by bringing them to madrasa, you do mu'jiza and everything is to be sorted out. Okay, because they have themselves brought their children to madrasa, we should appreciate and take this as a good signal. I think if possible, and if you have a space, and if you have staff, you should plan having some program for the parents as well. That's the best model. And many churches and synagogues, they do these things. When they have program for the children, they have also program for adults. Especially those who come from far distances, for them going and coming almost takes all time. So it's better for them if they stay. Otherwise, they may do some shopping around. So, if you can plan that you have something for parents, or at least one of them, that would be excellent. If not every week, once a month at least. Or one, for example, once a month for mother, another for father, so that every 2 weeks, at least one of them. In this way, you can make sure that they understand what you are teaching and they can help you in home, but also themselves will, inshallah, improve. Because I think our entire community should be involved in learning. Every person has to be involved in learning. Even ulama should be involved in learning. If they say, I know enough, this is not acceptable. Even Rasulullah was asked by Allah, قُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. Even Rasulullah was not supposed to say, I know enough. Those who think they know enough, this is lack of understanding. So, if you could have regular programs for them, is excellent. If not, at least every semester, one session with them to explain that we are going to teach, these subjects, we need your help. And if you can involve them in some activities, for example, you want to visit a graveyard, you want to visit orphanage, you want to do some charity work, they can help. If you want to take them out for a trip. So it's very important that families are connected to madrasa. Introduce the book?
Yes.
You are going to read them?
This one, especially 50% discount.
Okay.
All the book, what is it?
Okay. Alhamdulillah, English translation of Munyatul Murid has become ready. It's published by Islamic College. And Brother Alexander Khalil has translated, and I think Sheikh Ismail also has edited. So lots of work has been put. So as you know, this is a very good book on Islamic education. What teachers should observe, what students should observe, what seekers of knowledge should observe. It has hadith, it has Quranic verses, it has sayings of the scholars, even sometimes non-Muslim scholars, some philosophers, from ancient time. So the late Shahid Thani, rahmatullah alayh, I read somewhere that when he was in Sham, in Syria, and he was teaching in a place which was not for the Shia, so they asked him for a kind of academic work. So this was the work that he had produced to let them teach there, because he was teaching non-Shia Muslims also. So it's a very good book, and our ulama have always paid attention to this book. There are translations of this book in Farsi, commentaries, but now it's the first time that the complete translation is available in English. I think brothers have arranged that you can get the book with 50% discount. So, inshallah, I hope you will benefit. We have started reflecting on this book for a program we have for North America, Kauthar Learning Circle. So that is also available online. So far we have had 4 or 5 sessions on Munyatul Murid. So if you want to familiarize yourself, so the introduction and the Quranic verses about knowledge, prophetic hadiths about knowledge are addressed. So, but you can also, inshallah, read yourself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, help you in your sacred struggle that you have undertaken. I know each of you has his or her own problems and, family issues, lots of responsibilities. So we appreciate that you have also allocated this time for teaching our young children. May Allah, inshallah, accept from you this great service. And I am sure the time you spend for the sake of Allah, you will not lose. I am 100% sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would pay you back much more than you expect. And inshallah, you would see the time you spend on teaching other people's children. Inshallah, you will see the result in your own family, inshallah, in your own life. Don't say, let me fix my own family first, and then you can never get time to do anything else. No. This is part of the process. If you want to have good children, help other people's children. help the community, inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you in the way that you don't expect. This is 100% clear that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you never lose, and with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you will always inshallah become successful. Please remember as your dua. Inshallah today, as you know, we have also the anniversary of Imam Khomeini in the Islamic Center, and this year's topic is about women. So if you have time, you are welcome to attend inshallah 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Yes. We have also meeting of ulama, so I have to go to Islamic Center, but inshallah 4 o'clock we will inshallah start. التماس الدعاء.
MashaAllah. While I was listening to the lecture of Baba Shomali and thinking that we had Sayyid Milani first, and then we have our respected ulama Sheikh Zakaria and Sheikh Muhammad Yan afterwards, Imam Ali's saying was going through my head all this time, and I thought I must share this with you because this saying is for us to say how blessed we are. Imam Ali says, sit with scholars to increase your knowledge